Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. Okay, here we go. This is our second chapter titled Resident Status of Individual. Now, for this chapter, you need to know how to determine individual status. The status is very important, especially when the taxpayer submit their tax return to IRB. So IRB stands for Inland Revenue Board of Malaysia. So IRB is the government agency handles tax matter in Malaysia. So when you are individual, for example, like me myself, I am an individual. So when I submit my income tax to IRB, I need to determine my status. The status here not whether you are someone wife, okay, you are someone husband, girlfriend, no, not like that. The status here is either you are resident in Malaysia, so if not, you are non-resident in Malaysia. Okay, next, let's take a look on the syllabus content. Now, for this chapter, guys, it is very important for you to know three things. So the first one is in terms of how do we determine resident status based on Income Tax Act 1967. Okay, and then number two, why resident status is important? What is so good about resident status? Okay, number three, this one is a hot question in theory. The differences or distinctions between resident and non-resident individuals. Okay, the first thing you guys should know, the significance of resident status in Malaysia. So why is it very important for you to become resident in Malaysia? Everyone wants to become resident. Why? Because number one, resident status is important for income tax purposes. Why? Because guys, the tax treatment between resident and non-resident individual definitely are different. Some resident can claim, some non-resident cannot claim. So there are pros and cons between the status of resident and also non-resident individual. Let me show you guys. Okay, what are the differences between a resident and also non-resident? Okay, when question asks you, okay, explain three differences between resident and also non-resident. So what you should do is, guys, prepare table. So prepare table and then you guys list down three differences. Okay, the first column here, okay, what are the differences? So second column here, a resident, and the third column here is a non-resident. So we can see very clear the differences. Okay, number one. Okay, number one, in terms of tax rate. Guys, next slide, I'm going to show you guys tax rate. So normally, guys, the tax rate, you are given the table of the tax rate in your appendix. Okay, you guys can download it later. Okay, for now, let's say, guys, my income in a year based on calendar January to December, total income, my income is 50,000. Okay, 50,000 ringgit, guys. If you are resident. Okay, how many percent you need to pay tax? Normally, it is based on scale tax rate. So what does it mean by scale tax rate? Okay, next slide I'm going to show you guys. Whereby the tax rate minimum is 0%, maximum is 30%. So how many percent is your income tax rate, guys? It depends on how much your income. Okay, let's say if my income is 50,000, so my tax rate, it will be 8%. Alright? But if you are non-resident, guys, you will be taxed based on maximum in the table, which is 30%. We don't care about how much your income, still you need to be taxed based on 30%. So that's why it is called that flat rate for non-resident. Okay, that is one. Okay, that's why which one is better, guys? Of course, resident is much better. Okay, because you enjoy lower tax rate. Okay, number 2, in terms of relief. Okay, don't worry. I'm going to show you guys the list of relief that individual in Malaysia can claim if they are resident. So if you are resident, you can claim all the relief if you are entitled. Okay, but if you are non-resident, sorry, you cannot claim any relief. Okay. So example of relief, I will show you guys later. Okay, rebate. Okay, rebate. Okay, rebate, it works like personal relief. So the more relief you guys claim, guys, the lower your income, the lower you pay your tax. So one of the famous relief normally individual in Malaysia claim is zakat. So who can claim relief? Only if you are resident. But if you are non-resident, you cannot claim rebates. Okay? Alright, last but not least is employment income. Employment income, when you see when you are being employed in a company, okay, you are being paid with salary, bonus, allowances. Sometimes company give you a car, driver, house, and so on. So the employment income, if you are resident, you have to pay tax. It is taxable. But if you are non-resident, guys, if you stay in Malaysia less than 60 days, your employment income will be free tax. Exempted. This one only applicable to non-resident. Okay? Hi, guys. Let me show you guys. This is the table given in the appendix. Alright, so this is the table for the tax rate. So resident based on scale rate, non-resident based on maximum 30%. Just now I mentioned about my income is 50,000, right? So this is 50,000, the rate is 8%. So how much I need to pay tax? 50,000 multiplied by 8%. Next, these are some of the example of personal relief that individual can claim. For example, let's say my income is 50,000, isn't it? Okay, if you are resident, let's say that I paid hospital bill for my parents. I spend 8,000 ringgit. So here maximum I can claim 8,000, right? Therefore, my income here, before I multiply with tax rate, you minus 8,000 here. See? The more you claim your relief, the lower your income, the lower you pay your tax. That's why, guys, only resident in Malaysia can enjoy all these relief. This is rebate. Okay, one of the example rebate I already told you earlier, zakat. Zakat, there is no restriction. Let's say that you paid zakat 2,000, you can deduct from your income tax 2,000 ringgit. Okay, next, we have come to the very important part, guys. This is computation part. Alright, so how do we know whether the individual is resident or non-resident? So it is very simple, everyone. So in Malaysia, our concept, guys, we don't care about the nationality or citizenship. Whether that individual is from Bangladesh, from UK, from US, from Arab Saudi, from Thailand, from Singapore, we don't care about that. Why? Because that's not how we determine your resident status. So the issue is how do we determine? Okay, look at the first sentence here. So the way we determine resident status in Malaysia is by looking at number of days individual present in Malaysia during a particular calendar year. So normally, guys, our calendar start from January until December, isn't it? So most importantly is you need to calculate how many days the individual stay in Malaysia starting from January to December. So is it 200 days? Is it 100 days? Is it 10 days? Is it 0 days? It could be 0 if you don't stay in Malaysia at all. Alright? Okay. So in determining the resident status, an individual is considered to be physically present in Malaysia for the whole day, although he is present in Malaysia for part of the day. So it means that this sentence is telling you guys part of the day is considered as one day. So what does it mean by this? Okay, let me show you guys. Next slide example. Okay, look at this one, guys. Okay, what does it mean by part of the day is considered as one day? Okay, look at example number 1. Okay, this is Damien. So Damien, he is a senior accountant at holding company in Australia. So meaning to say, currently he is not working in Malaysia, but he is working in Australia. Okay, and then was sent by his employer to examine and assist in the accounts of the company's branch in Malaysia. So what does it mean by this sentence? Okay, first we know that he is working in Australia. He is an accountant. And then the company in Australia sent him to branch in Malaysia. So he need to help in preparing accounts in Malaysia. So he came to Malaysia, guys. So when he came to Malaysia, okay, what's the date he came to Malaysia? Look at here. His period of stay in Malaysia was as follows. Alright. So date of arrival, meaning to say, he first arrived in Malaysia on 1st January 2017. At what time? Exactly at 11 p.m. Maybe some of you might be wondering, okay, Miss, he arrived in Malaysia 11 p.m. So meaning to say on 1st January, he arrived in Malaysia 11 p.m. and then he only stay in Malaysia, okay, let's say, 1st January, okay, 11 p.m. to 12 p.m. guys, this one he only stay in Malaysia. How many hours? Just 1 hour on 1st January. So suppose one day is 24 hours, isn't it? No, guys. It doesn't work that way. That's why I told you earlier. Part of the day is considered as one day. So as long as he arrived in Malaysia at 11 p.m., we don't care how many hours he stay. Because on 1st January, we considered him to stay in Malaysia for fully day. For the whole day. See, even though he arrived in Malaysia at 11 p.m., we don't care how many hours. What we care is, 1st January, he is present in Malaysia. Alright? Okay, look at the next date. Okay, and then, date of departure. Meaning to say, he went back to Australia. So, the date is 11 January and then 2 a.m. Exactly at 2 a.m. Okay, again guys, the concept part of the day is considered as one day. So meaning to say what? So even though he is gone from Malaysia starting from 2 a.m. onward, but he's still present in Malaysia before 2 a.m., isn't it guys? That's why we don't care about how many hours. What we care is 11 January, he is still in Malaysia. Alright, so this is what it means by part of the day is considered as one day. Okay, next. Guys, because we need to compute number of days in calendar, of course you need to know number of days in calendar, isn't it? I don't know how you are going to memorize this number of days. So I believe that everyone, you have your own style. Isn't it? Okay, use whatever style you want to use as long as you can memorize number of days. Okay, before we move on, have you ever heard about leap year? So what does it mean by leap year? Leap year, guys, normally it happens once in every 4 years. Once in every 4 years, whereby between January until December, 1 month which is February, this is very special. So why February is special, guys? Because February for leap year, it has 29 days. In a normal year, February only 28 days, right? But leap year 29 days. Okay, let me show you guys. For example, 2024. Alright, so how do we determine whether that year is a leap year or not, 2024? It's simple. You guys divide by 4. You divide by 4, okay? So when you divide by 4, okay, you will get, let me calculate for you. 506. This one is 506. Okay, 506. So this is even number without decimal, isn't it? So when you compute, you divide by 4 without decimal, confirm this is a leap year. So 2024 February we have 29 days. Okay, let's try one more. How about last year 2023 guys? Okay, 2023 you guys divide by 4. Do we have decimal or not? Let me compute for you guys. 505.75. We have decimal, right? So confirm guys, 2023 is not leap year. So February only 28 days. Next, let me show you guys the format that you need to prepare for resident status. Alright, so in general, there are 6 columns. Okay, column number 1, everyone. Okay, this is column YA. YA stands for year of assessment. This is year. Okay, for example, 2024. And then period of stay, guys. This is date. Okay. What date until what date the taxpayer stay in Malaysia? Okay, this one done. Okay, number of days, we are going to compute our period of stay. How many days here? Okay, status, your answer is supposed to be between a resident or non-resident. Okay, next. Section, we are referring to section 7, subsection 1. It could be A until D. Okay, last but not least is column reason. So if you ask me guys, okay, among 6 column, which one that you should give more space? Okay, I will say that reason. Normally, reason is a long sentence, alright? You need to explain about the section. So please provide more space for reason. Circumstances in determining resident status. Now, in general, everyone, okay, there are 4 set of circumstances in which an individual can qualify as a resident in Malaysia for the basis for a YA. Meaning to say, guys, there are 4 ways individual can become a resident in Malaysia. 4 ways, not 1 way, say 4 ways. Okay. So, how do we know which ways that our taxpayer need to choose? Actually, guys, between 4 ways, 4 methods, you only need to fulfill 1. Just 1. Alright? So, if all these 4 ways cannot be fulfilled, cannot be satisfied, meaning to say that taxpayer, guys, will be considered as a non-resident. Let me show you guys the 4 ways that I mentioned just now. Okay, so for resident status, everyone, we need to apply section 7, subsections 1. And section 7, section 1 can be further divided into 4 categories. So the first one is section 7, subsection 1A. Followed by B, followed by C, and then last but not least is D. Okay, the main issue is how do we use this section? Okay, listen very carefully. Always start with A. Try A first. So if you cannot use A and then you go for B. You cannot use B and then you go for C. So if you cannot use C and then you go for D. So if all section cannot be used, therefore your answer, it will be non-resident. Simple, right? But you cannot start with B first. Or you start with D first. Or you start with D first. No. You must start with A, followed by B, followed by C, and then D. Okay, everyone. Let's take a look on section 7, subsections 1A. So, based on A, how many days the taxpayer needs to stay in Malaysia? Okay, look at this one, guys. Stay in Malaysia for 182 days or more in a basis year. Meaning to say, guys, okay, if I interpret this sentence, I'm going to say that based on it, the taxpayer need to stay in Malaysia, the minimum is 182 days. There is no maximum, but minimum is 182 days. Now, you know that based on our calendar, 1 year equals to 365 days. For leap year, plus 1, 366 days. So if you stay in Malaysia for the whole year, okay, meaning to say you satisfy this section. But guys, we don't need the whole year because the minimum you need to stay in Malaysia in order to get resident under this section is 182 days. Okay, you guys can give me reason like this. Okay, stay in Malaysia for at least. At least mean minimum. 182 days. So if you need to use symbol, so the symbol is like this. Make sure you have greater than equal. 182. Alright. So this period, 182 days, it doesn't need to be consecutive. Consecutive mean berterusan, continuously. For example, you must stay in Malaysia January, February, March, April, May until you reach 180 days. No, it doesn't work that way. Guys, it could be that you stay in Malaysia January, you are present in Malaysia. Alright, and then February until June absent from Malaysia. And then you stay in Malaysia July until December. It could be like that. Alright, because the period need not to be consecutive. As long as when you total up for a year, you get 182 or more. Okay, to make you understand better. So I'm going to show you guys one tutorial question from March 2024. Okay, I screenshot the questions and I screenshot the answer for you. Okay, ready guys? Let's read the questions together. Okay, Joe Jonas is from Germany. But remember everyone, I already told you, nationality, citizenship is not the issue. That's not important. What is important is how many days you stay in Malaysia. Okay, so Jonas, he was employed by Telco Sdn Bhd. So can you see the word Sdn Bhd? Very obvious. This is Malaysian company because Sdn Bhd. Okay. To monitor telecommunication operation of the company. This is his job in Malaysia. Okay, next. He has the following periods of stay in Malaysia. So period of stay, we need to see. Okay, if the date is given in this table. Okay, let's see this table first. Okay, year. Okay, first column is a year. Okay, second column is a period of stay. And then third column is note. Okay, note, ignore it first. Note, you're going to learn about notes when we go to B. Alright? Okay, guys, period of stay, we need to see he is present in Malaysia. And you need to record this period of stay in your answer. Alright, so look at the required. Determine the tax resident status for relevant YA from 2018 until 2023. So today, everyone, let's do 2018 because 2018 falls under E. Alright? Okay, so this is your format, 6 column. Okay, so, alright, so first YA is 2018. Alright? Okay, our period of stay 1st July 2018 until 29 December 2018. So, since we have already year, column year here, I want you guys to drop year at the end of our period of stay. So, enough if you record 1st July until 29 December. Okay? Alright, next. Okay, that's it for 2018, right? Okay, now you need to compute. Compute how many days from 1st July to 29 December. Okay, the way we compute, guys, because this one, July start from 1st July, isn't it? So, 1st July, meaning to say, guys, you can take July full. So, how many days in July? 31. Okay, plus August, 31. Plus September, 30. October 31 and then November 30 plus December 29. Okay, let me check again. 31 July, August, September, October, November, December. Correct. Okay, you guys total up, you should get 182 days. Okay, so guys, 182 days. Okay, now we need to apply Section 7. So Section 7, we need to determine whether it falls under A, B, C, or D. Okay, now let's try to use A. A, how many days we need to stay in Malaysia, guys? 182 days, right? Look at it here, guys. Exactly 182 days. Exactly 182, isn't it? So meaning to say, we said that 2018, the status is resident under Section 7, subsection 1A. Okay? Alright, how do we give reason? Okay, reason basically, guys, the definition of Section 7, Section 1A. You guys can give reason like this. Stay in Malaysia for at least 182 days. Do not give me stay in Malaysia for more than. More than is wrong. Wrong keyword. The right keyword is at least, because at least meaning to say we include 182. More than meaning to say we start from 183. So be careful, guys, about the keyword that you use when you answer section 7, subsections 1A.